Hi Fantasy Managers, welcome to FPL Team Talk. So in this video we're going to go through team selection for the final game week of the season, game week 38. But what I do want to do before we get into that is just let you know where we are in terms of players available, how we got on in 37, what my strategy is going to be into this last game week. I think that's important. So as always guys, thanks for all your support during the season. It means a lot to me. You've been fantastic. It's been a great journey. This is obviously the culmination of that journey. Hit that like button, click on subscribe, and in the meantime, let's take a look. So game week 37 was a good game week for us. With 3 hit in game week 37, so it's been in the planning for a long time. Only 2 clean sheets out of all of those fixtures that teams picked up. Newcastle at home to Arsenal, and then the other one was Tottenham against Burnley. So very few clean sheets picked up. So I guess quite fortunate we picked up a return on Digne, but no one else in that back 5 really doing us any favours. Zaha picked up an assist. That was great, mate. Leverton lost their clean sheet, as we know. Maddison was a real highlight. Son blanked. He owes me absolutely nothing up until now, if I'm honest, though. Kane did get something. So Son and Kane, only single game week players. That panned out really well as that happened, because the likes of Trent, Salah, Robertson, we all know that they didn't play in that Southampton fixture. Danny Ings was a disappointment. I was tempted to captain him, I have to say. I was tempted to bring in Vardy, but those two sort of options cancelled each other out. And in the end, I plumped for the obvious choice for Charlison, and he really paid me back with dividends. 38 points. So even though there seems so few players actually returned for me, the 2 that did just made up such a huge haul for me. I ended up with over 100 points, which I would absolutely have taken at the start of the game week. And again, a massive rise for me, up to 28k now, which is smashing my target for the start of the season. 80 odd k last year, 28k now. I'm in a position where I'm quite happy with the side in game week 38, as we'll see in a minute. But I think I'm quite happy to protect this at the moment. Really pleased with where it's gone. The planning's set out well. So, without further ado, let's have a look at how we're set up for game week 38. So we got the fixtures for game week 38 up on the screen. There's no doubles in game week 38. Anyone blanking. Everyone kicks off at exactly the same time. We all know the score. 4 o'clock on Sunday. So later on today, we'll be doing our deadline stream. Make sure you catch us for that one. The fixtures to look out for. We know the teams that have got stuff to play for. Arsenal need to beat Everton. Huge game for Leeds at Brentford. West Ham still have that Europa League spot to try and gain off of Manchester United, who are at Palace. Burnley, everything to play for in their game. Chelsea already have 3 wrapped up, 3rd place wrapped up with that good goal difference. Watford as well, already relegated, having a few problems in terms of illnesses going out throughout their side. Looks like it's a really nice game to target for Chelsea as well. Leicester, Southampton on a bit of a downward spiral, so maybe some Leicester assets would be nice there. Liverpool and Man City, we know all that, and Spurs have to win to get that Champions League spot. So there's still so many issues. It just promises to be such a great final game week of the season, and from an FPL point of view, we really want to make sure we have a good finish as well. So let's have a look at some of the teams and the plans that we have for it. Here's my side on screen. It's just a sea of green. It's fantastic. And all the planning that we put in, especially over the second half of the season, conserving those free hits, just feels like it's really paying dividends coming into this final game week. I've got one transfer to make. Ramsdale gets a nod over Sarr goal for obvious reason at home to Everton, hoping he keeps a clean sheet. Did read that something like they've conceded in something like the last 8 games, Arsenal. So let's hope they can turn that over against Everton, who now are safe. Wonder what their mentality will be going into that game. Then we've got Rudiger, James, happy to double off on that Chelsea defence, but there is a slight worry with both of those players playing in that double game week. Will they be, seems crazy to say rested for last game, will they just be rotated for that last game? There's nothing else to play for. You'd hope that they would just put the strongest side out for the last game of the season, especially with Watford. That's what we're looking for. But there is often strange things happen on the final day in terms of rotation, players being rested, youth players being given chances. So I am concerned about those two, but therefore just making sure having a playing bench is important. I'm fingers crossed. I just think they should both play, and it's just a great chance to get a clean sheet. Davis away at Norwich, he has to play. I'm pretty sure he'll be in there, and a clean sheet, good opportunity. Laporte, last man standing in that Man City defence, so hopefully he just plays. Son, clearly he's obviously in form, chasing the golden boot. Maddison, he's just played 2 games in a row, so once again, I'm a little bit unsure. Last game of the season, nothing rest in 4. Hopefully he'll just get the 90 minutes. Gordon comes in. There is a case, and I'm not saying I won't do it, is bringing White in instead of Gordon. I'm doubling up on an Arsenal defence. If I do that, though, that hasn't kept a clean sheet for quite a while. So that's a risk. Not sure how I feel about that. But then I don't think Gordon's got a great chance of getting a return away at Arsenal either. Mount rested midweek, so I'm really confident he's going to get 90 minutes. And with possibility of a captaincy there. De Bruyne, don't need to talk about that. Kane, Conte's come out and said he'll be fine. Talismanic, I think they'll just patch him up, whatever his state, however ill he's been. As long as he's able to walk out onto that pitch, they'll put him in there. On the bench, I do have White, which we talked about. If he comes in, Gordon goes on the bench. So he's definitely playing. Broja and Hwang have difficult fixtures. But I do have one transfer, like I said, so we'll look at possibilities. Looking at the side, it looks really strong. I don't really feel. I think if this was a game week 30 or 20, I would just roll that transfer for the following week. But if I don't use that transfer, I'm not going to roll it over to week 1 next year. I might as well just use it. But where do you use it? I'm quite in favour of just strengthening the bench in case there's some surprises. Does Gordon get rested? Does Mount not come in? Maddison, Rudiger, who knows what could happen. So I may need to call on someone else on the bench. But I don't have a lot of money. I've got 0.4 in the bank. And I don't really want to sell one of the bigger assets either. Captaincy is an issue. Got so many good choices. Son, I think, is the obvious choice. Son or Kane, the obvious choices. In the back of my mind, though, I am thinking that Norwich at home, it's not a game any team likes to lose their last home fixture, even though they're relegated. So I'm a little bit wary of captaining someone away on the last day. Mount, because he's rested, and Watford in such poor form, relegated already, he looks like he could be a good option. Just thinking back on my mind again, thinking of what he did to Norwich earlier on the season. Then you got De Bruyne, who's been in such good form. So it's lots of choices there. At the moment, I'm sticking it on Son, but I could easily transfer that across to Mount. Other players then that I could potentially look at, we'll take a look at now. One player that has come up on the radar again is Jared Bowen. Everyone had him earlier on in the season, and he started to really pick up the pace again now. 3 goals in the last 5 games. 2 goals against Man City last week, which you know about. The goal against Arsenal, and I think he got 3 assists, all in that game against Norwich as well. So 6 goal involvements in the last 5 games. He's actually exceeded his expected goal involvement 0.6. He's over 1. He looks like a really good option. They've got so much to play for West Ham. They're not going to want their season to fizzle out. They're in the Conference League. They'll want to get into the Europa League by winning this game against Brighton, putting pressure on Man United to see if they slip up. Bowen looks like a good option. The only way I could get to him is by getting rid of a Mount, a Son or a Maddison. If I get word that Maddison might not play, he seems the most likely of those 3 to be rested or rotated, then Bowen could definitely come in for me. Another one that I like the look of is Sessegnon. This would be a very sideways move though. I'd have to take Davis out because I've got 3 Tottenham players. But if nothing else transpires, then he could be the one. Money isn't really an option with him because he's so cheap. He hasn't got any goals. 1 assist, that one against Liverpool. But his XGI looks brilliant in the last 5 games. Just looks a much better attacking threat than Davies. So it would be a sideways move. I'd keep my Tottenham defender. But if he picks up an assist or anything more than that, I'll be really thrilled. The good thing about him in the last game, even though he didn't pick up any assists or goals, he did still get 2 bonus points, which kind of shows you how attacking and how much of a threat and influence he is. The last one that I could possibly go for is a bit of a long shot. Zinchenko. Again, it would be a sideways move because I'd have to move Laporte to get to him. I don't think I'd want to take anyone else or Rudiger or James unless we got word, good word, one of those were being rested. He looks nailed. He's played 4 of the last 5 games. He's got 2 goal returns, 2 assists in those 5 games. Plays quite forward. Decent stats for a defender. And I think Man City have got a good chance of keeping a clean sheet in that game. Zinchenko looks like a really nice differential as well. Doubling up a Man City defence, I wouldn't mind. Thanks for watching, guys. That's it for our last Game Week 38 team selection video. I hope you have everything you wish for in this game week. Join us for the deadline stream later on at 2 o'clock. In the meantime, don't forget to hit like, click that subscribe, let me know who you're bringing in, what's your rank, what are you hoping for in this last game week. In the meantime, speak to you soon.